my darlings. Welcome to a new vlog. Today we are in full spring house mode. I want to add some really lovely spring touches to the home, both in terms of some kind of more long-term furniture updates, but also some short-term floral updates as well. I just always love having fresh blooms in the house, a mixture of potted and also in water. I would say potted are my favorites because they last so much longer. We've had some lily of the valley in the kitchen for nearly 3 weeks now, and it's just looked so beautiful for that long. So I'm going to put together another lily of the valley display shortly. We need to go out and get some moss to do that. But first of all, we're here in the entrance hall kind of area because I want to update this vase here. When you first walk into our house, this is the room that you come into, and it's a beautiful, very old space, but I always feel like it just needs a little bit of nature and a little bit of colour. There's only so much you can do with things like curtains and soft furnishings and furniture, and I always like to add blooms wherever possible. Now, flowers, especially cut flowers, can be very expensive, so I always like to think of ways that I can get more out of any shop bought flowers. In about a month I won't really need to buy any more flowers because we'll have plenty in the garden, but we're not quite there yet. So this is the most expensive time of the year for me when it comes to decorating the home for spring with fresh flowers, because I still need to buy a few stems. So I have bought some beautiful pink tulips and also some viburnum and campanula, and I think I've got some lilac in there as well. I'm not necessarily going to use everything in here because I want to just, as I said, get the most out of it as possible. But my favourite thing to do is to get free flowers, and the way that I do that is by always having a pair of secateurs in my car. Now, if you live in the middle of a city, this is a bit trickier, but what you could do is to take a big tote bag with you on a walk in a big park and a pair of secateurs, and if you see a big bush, as long as you're not taking too much, then you could just trim a few pretty branches. But if you live in the countryside, you'll know that right now the hedgerows are just full of blossoming hawthorn, and from now on there's just something new in blossom practically every week. So I like to think that I'm doing the farmers a favour by helping them get ahead of their hedge cutting and just trimming a few beautiful hawthorn blossom branches. General rules of foraging do apply. Make sure you're not snipping anything on any private land, and make sure you're not taking too much, no more than, I think they say, 1/8 of the plant, which is just not going to be an issue with a hawthorn bush because they are wild. And what are the other laws? I've written about it on the blog, so I'll leave that link down below, but just, yeah, play it safe. So, legally acquired foraged hawthorn. I'm going to start, oh, we're going to have a chime. Luckily, just 1 o'clock. I'm going to start by separating out the branches and finding the biggest one to go in the middle. I have got a bundle of chicken wire in the base of my vase, and that just kind of acts as a little bit of structure so that if there is a gust of wind or something, everything doesn't just flop to one side. It just helps you to kind of lay everything out. Let's put these on the floor for now. So I always start with the kind of stiffest, most structural things and then add the softer bits in afterwards. And with stiff branches like this, what you can do is just create an extra snip. Can you see I just snipped up the stem, and that way it can drink a little bit more water. Okay, so I've just loosely kind of put the hawthorn in, trying to create a nice shape. I normally start by doing some bits kind of fanning out over the edge and then adding a big pillar piece in the middle. I'm creating a huge mess, but we'll sort that out later. So now I'm going to leave the prettiest bits until last because they are the real showstoppers and they really catch the eye, so you want them to be perfectly spaced out. So now we need to add in some nice luscious green. So let's add in the viburnum. That's this one here. It does grow in bushes and it's very plentiful, so if you're lucky enough to have a big bush in your garden, then you won't need to buy it. My bush is very small, so I couldn't snip from it yet, but I very much hope to be able to one day. And it can be a little bit floppy, which is why it's great to have something like the hawthorn here that it can kind of prop itself up against. Now we're adding that pop of colour with the tulips. These were all completely closed up in the shop, but with a drink of water and the warmth inside the house, they have completely opened now. The colour is amazing, and I've let them have a good drink. Why can I not think of the grammar? I've let them enjoy a good drink of water, so hopefully the stems should remain nice and upright. And there we go. I am so happy with this. It's just so joyful. My favourite spring colours, white, green and a pop of pink. I love this corally pink of the tulips. I think that looks absolutely gorgeous. My flower displays are never perfect and neat and tidy. They're always a little bit wild and wonderful. I will need to keep the water topped up. Tulips especially are very, very thirsty and the blossom will start to drop, so I have to keep this table nice and clean. But yes, I absolutely love that, and it should look beautiful for at least a week, and I can always just like interchange things. If anything dies, then I can swap it out. But there we go, a beautiful spring-like centerpiece that doesn't cost a fortune thanks to some extra forage branches. Now I've made a huge mess on the floor, so I'm gonna have a little cleanup session. This is one of my favourite gadgets in the house. This is one of our new Dysons. I say one of because Charlie went on a bit of a shopping spree and bought a few new ones, but in this house we really have to stay on top of the dust. Living in an 800-year-old house, it can be quite dusty and there's lots of dark corners, and this vacuum actually has like a green laser that shoots out, so not only does it pick up everything, like every bit of dust, but if there's a dark corner you can see right into it, and it's the most satisfying thing in the entire world. This is, I think it's called the Dyson Animal Anti-Tangle. It's one that's specifically made for long hair, and it's got like a cone-shaped head down at the bottom, so the hair, instead of getting tangled around the bottom of the vacuum, it almost creates little hair balls that come off at the end. It's so clever. Okay, I've still got the Campanula, Lilac and Ranunculus in here. All three of those are really, really good for long-lasting cut flower. I remember in 2023, after our wedding, we had loads of Campanula, which is this one. The flowers look like these beautiful little white or lilac bells. These ones haven't come out yet. We had so much Campanula for our wedding, and if you were not here on the channel watching the videos during the time that Charlie and I got married, definitely go back and watch the wedding vlogs. They are the best vlogs of all time in my opinion, and the flowers were just out of this world. I mean, the whole house was transformed into a floral wonderland. The staircase, I'll put a photo on the screen here of the staircase. But of course, being someone that hates to see anything go to waste and that likes to maximize everything, we got married on the Friday, and the kind of takedown of everything was on the Sunday. But as well as sending our wedding guests home with massive bunches of flowers, nobody left empty-handed. I also foraged and saved every single stem of the blooms like the campanula and the ranunculus, because they are so long lasting. And for the whole rest of June, for probably 2 or 3 weeks after our wedding, the campanula was still going strong. I would say it can have up to a 3-week vase life, which is crazy, especially if you get it when it's still in bud like this. And when this one will be the first one to kind of shrivel up and die, and I'll just pick it off and the rest of it will still look gorgeous. So I always buy campanula when I see it. Ranunculus is the same, it lasts so long in the vase. If you keep it ideally at a slightly cooler temperature, not right by your oven, and if you change the water every 3 or 4 days, then you should get the most out of your flowers, and you just get better value for money, because like we said earlier, it's expensive getting cut flowers. I've just bought my coffee thing here. I've just been making myself a coffee. Foxgloves are another one that are beautifully long lasting in a display, but they're not ready yet. So they're not growing yet. I keep a plant pot next to my coffee machine. Of course I do. My friends come over and they roll their eyes because I'm so ridiculous with all these things, but I find it satisfying reusing things. It's just, to me, that's fun. It may be so boring to other people, but to me it's fun. So no coffee grounds ever go to waste in this house. I will either turn them into a hand scrub or a foot scrub by mixing them with some coconut oil, or I'll put them in my composting bin, or at the moment what I'm doing is I'm saving them. I'm putting them in the plant pot, and then what we're going to do this afternoon, as soon as Martin has finished mowing the lawns, is we are going to sprinkle these coffee grounds. I've got like a week's worth in here. We're going to sprinkle them around my lettuce as a little bit of a natural slug repellent. You could also sprinkle them around lupins, basically anything that gets attacked by slugs. Coffee grounds are a great deterrent, and then the worms will just bring them into the soil, and they actually feed your soil as well, which is so satisfying. But anyway, let's get my oat milk frothed up and I can enjoy my coffee. So just case in point here, these ranunculus I have had for about 10 days here in the kitchen, and they've well outlasted, well actually the foliage in here has done really well, so I'm just going to replace the water in that one. But they have outlasted the hellebores that I added into this vase. So I'm just going to take the ranunculus, trim the bottoms off because they get a bit mushy, compost this, fresh water, and I'll add a little bit more foliage in just for these little posy glasses, which I love to have dotted around the house. And if any of the petals are looking a bit sad, like the outer ones, you can just pull them away and it's good as new. And I will probably have 1 more week out of these, which is amazing. So I won't bore you by showing you another flower display, but I'm going to put these bits in this vase here for the living room, and then pad it out with some foliage from the garden. Okay, let's leave the florals for a little bit. I'm going to go out in the garden a bit later and get some greenery to add to that last display, but it's already looking so good. We're in the pink room, so if you know, you know. I'm going to share some fashion bits with you. I had a delivery from a brand that I have not worn or tried on, or really, to be honest, thought that much about in many years. Tommy Hilfiger. However, I looked on their website and oh my goodness me, they have got some absolutely beautiful designs at the moment, and they very kindly said I could choose a few bits to try, so I thought we could unbox those together. Just just put the lights on. It suddenly went a bit dreary in here. And alongside potentially some gorgeous new spring outfits, I also have some beautiful new spring jewellery to share with you as well, from a brand that I often think of when it comes to gifting, really special, like mum's birthday, Christmas, just really beautiful special occasion wear. The brand is 𝑭𝒐𝑗. They create the most stunning, elegant, timeless designs that are just kind of heirloom pieces, the kinds of pieces that you can be wearing a white t-shirt and jeans and 𝑭𝒐𝑗 jewellery and you look $1 million or £1 million. They really are just the most gorgeous things. So I'm gonna open up my new pieces and show you what I've chosen, and then we'll style them together with some of my new spring pieces for the wardrobe. Now, one part of my jewellery rotation that I don't tend to change up that often are my rings. I tend to just put them on and then leave them on for weeks and weeks at a time. So it's really important to me that the rings that I wear are really versatile and just kind of go with everything. So this is a beautiful design from 𝑭𝒐𝑗 called the Aurelia ring. This is made with 14 karat gold, and the diamond in the middle is a lab-grown diamond. They use the absolute best top techniques to ensure the most seamless, flawless top clarity for their lab-grown diamonds. You can see the way that it catches the light. It's just absolutely beautiful. This looks like the kind of ring that would cost thousands and thousands of pounds. But 𝑭𝒐𝑗 pieces, the price point is premium, but I always feel like you're getting really good value for the materials that they use, the timelessness of the design versus the price. I'll leave all of these bits linked down below, but this is just something that, you know, you don't even need to think about. You just wear it as an everyday piece and it just always looks so elegant. Something else that is just an essential part, in my opinion, of a completely timeless wardrobe would be a pair of gold hoop earrings. And I think that initially when you think of gold hoop earrings, I don't know about you, but I think of like the really big, like Christina Aguilera ones from the 90s. But actually there are ways of styling gold hoop earrings in such an elegant way. And these are called the Marceline earrings. And these are a fantastic price point on 𝑭𝒐𝑗 because they are a gold vermeil, which is a beautiful coating of 14 karat gold. And then dangling down is a Baroque style pearl. I really associate 𝑭𝒐𝑗 with just the most incredible quality pearls because they choose the most unblemished, like beautifully lustrous, perfect pearls for their jewelry pieces. And these earrings, you can wear them either with the pearl, or if you want to keep it really simple, you can actually take the pearl off and wear them just as a classic hoop. But pearls to me really elevate a jewelry piece, so I'm gonna style these with the pearl for today. And you can see, like, I'm just wearing a white affordable t-shirt, knitted t-shirt from H&M, and just adding such a timeless, lovely jewelry piece like this, instantly the look is elevated, especially with the little pearl. Something about pearls, the way that they absorb and capture the light, I think it's very flattering on your face, on your complexion. Even though they're so teeny weeny, I just think they make such a difference. When in doubt, add pearls. That's my motto. So if you're looking for something really versatile, this is essentially 2 pairs of earrings in one, which just makes them even more fabulous. The Marceline earrings with the Aurora Baroque pearl. And if you are a lover of pearls, you're probably about to fall in love with this next piece that I have to share with you. I think if I could design my dream bracelet, mixing all of my favorite elements, this would be it. 𝑭𝒐𝑗 have literally created my dream bracelet, and I think I will be wearing this bracelet every day for eternity. So you heard it here first. For in the future, when people are thinking, Josie, that is such a stunning bracelet, where is it from? 𝑭𝒐𝑗. This is one that I think is going to sell out, so fastest finger first down below. This is the 𝑭𝒐𝑗 bracelet, and it just could not be more perfect, like if I had created it in my dreams. So the elements about it that I love, we've got the gold vermeil again, and this yellowy gold matches my aura ring, matches my watch. It's the colour that I love the most when it comes to my jewellery. I love this sculptural element of this kind of chain detail. It brings it into a slightly more kind of contemporary modern space instead of just a really timeless pearl bracelet. And then you've got these chunky Baroque pearls, and again from Gingerberry, you know they are just the most beautiful, top quality. Like they are perfect pearls. Pearls are natural, so there are so many different variations of pearls. 1 in 1,000 pearls is good enough for Gingerberry jewelry. So let's figure out how we get this on and off. I like that it's quite a slim fit as well. It's just gonna look so pretty for everyday wear. Look at that. That is so beautiful, so elegant. I officially have a new favorite bracelet. I honestly think it is the most perfect bracelet I have ever seen in my entire life. Again, price-wise, compared to many of the other luxury jewelry retailers that have similar quality, it's about a 1/5 of the price that I could imagine other retailers in this space would charge. Gingerberry are very fair with their pricing considering the quality of the raw materials that they use, but also they've got the most amazing returns policy. It's 30 days worldwide, and they will actually cover the shipping of any returns, which I doubt you would need, but yeah, just so that it's completely worry-free, or completely you can purchase without a stress in the world. I love that so much. It looks so lovely when you see just the pearl side, but then when you see the chain side as well, I think that is stunning. Absolutely. Such a beautiful piece. I've just added one more ring. This is called the 𝑠𝑖𝑙𝑖𝑛 ring, and this is another lab-grown diamond 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒅 ring. Another just total classic that would always look perfect, one that you don't need to worry about switching up day to day. Now, I just had one of those moments where your heart goes whoop, because I thought that I had dropped one of these through the cracks in the floorboards, which in this room are very big. This is another beautiful earring from Gingerberry, and I think these are just going to be the most perfect everyday elevated earring. Will my camera focus on them though? That is the question. So as you can see, you've got these 2 little beautiful pearls in there. Again, the most incredible quality. They are AAA quality, which is the most incredible quality pearl, and then 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. So if you do even have quite sensitive ears when it comes to earrings that you plan on just wearing all day, every day, then you'll be absolutely fine with these. There's something very, like, you've pinched them out of your grandma's jewelry collection. There's something so ageless and timeless about these. If you're looking to get a really special gift for someone, I just think they're such an elegant choice. I'm going to put these in after I've tried on a few different outfits, because I feel like I just want these to be my spring everyday earrings. I'm a huge fan of an 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 diamond design. My engagement ring has got that kind of design, and I just think it's totally timeless, and combined with the pearls, there's just something, I hate the expression, but there's something quite old money about these. It feels like you could inherit these as like an heirloom piece. I just think they're so beautiful. So those are a few of my beautiful new pieces. There are a couple more which I'll show you throughout the video, but I'll leave everything from Gingerberry linked in the description box down below. If you're in the US, you still have Mother's Day to look forward to, so this would be the most amazing idea for a Mother's Day gift. Obviously here in the UK, we've had Mother's Day, but treat yourself, treat your mum. It doesn't need to be Mother's Day, or anyone in your, any loved ones in your life. I just think they are perfect for everyone. Josie 15 is a discount code that you can use, and that will work on top of the promotions that are on the website at the moment. They have got some incredible discounts, so make the most of it. Now's a really good time to treat yourself. So yeah, Josie 15, and the Mother's Day promotion runs until May the 31st, so you have got a little bit of time for shopping on the website. Now I'm going to have a little rummage through these, and let's try on some lovely new pieces together. Such lovely packaging. Let's have a look inside. I feel like Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein are probably going to have a mega moment following Love Story on Netflix. Ooh, this feels like a bag. So first of all, this beautiful bag. I feel like the size of this is perfect. It's going to be just big enough for my phone, my camera, a few bits of makeup, a few essentials. That is such a lovely size, and I love a crossbody bag at this time of year especially. You don't have to carry any additional layers with you if you've got a nice little spring light jacket on. Such a lovely colour as well. I feel like this logo, I think that might be quite a new style logo for them. That is absolutely gorgeous. The next thing in the bag was this pair of loafers. First thing that I noticed, they have got a really like squidgy sole. They've almost got like an inch inside them, a little bit of a hidden heel, hidden height boost. And I just quickly tried this one on. I would say if you're between sizes, you're going to need to size up because these are pretty snug. But with the suede, I think if I just wear them around the house for a couple of days, they're going to stretch and mold to my feet perfectly. And they're the kind of shoe that the more you wear them, the comfier they get. I like this little logo here. I am going to spray them with suede spray. But yeah, they feel so comfortable. I do sometimes struggle with footwear in spring, especially if I don't want to wear trainers, if I want something a little bit smarter, and I feel like these tick the box. Gosh, they are so comfortable. As I said, snug. I did get my normal size, but that cushioned sole is so comfy. Yeah, these I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of. Okay, I grabbed this coat out of the bag and had to try it on instantly. It is just the most classic, almost bone-coloured trench coat. It's that cotton that's kind of like gabardine, so the rain will just bounce off. Pockets, crossbody, not crossbody, what do you call it? Double-breasted. I've cinched it in around the waist, and a really lovely kind of cape detail at the back. Oh my gosh, I need to unpin down at the bottom. And I'll show you a really fun detail, which is the lining. So the lining is very bright red panels, but also the classic Tommy Hilfiger stripes there, which is just such a nice detail when the wind catches it and it blows open a little bit. This is just, yeah, the perfect spring trench coat. I love it. And the other pieces in the bag, we've got this pair of high-waisted jeans. They're a boot cut. I need to give them a quick steam. They are a very, very bright white. Normally I prefer a slightly off-white like this, but I think for kind of almost like beachy, do you know, if you're going for like dinner at the marina on holiday, I feel like this is the perfect kind of bright white pair of trousers. And then they've also sent the classic blue Tommy Hilfiger shirt, which I think will look so lovely tucked in to a pair of high-waisted trousers, alongside a classic tan belt with the same TH logo on it. I absolutely love a tan leather belt. They literally go with everything. So many gorgeous pieces, full outfit from Tommy Hilfiger. I absolutely love them. As I mentioned, I did have a little look on the website, and they've got some really gorgeous spring kind of dresses and other pieces which are on my wish list. So if I do decide to treat myself to a couple more, then I will let you know. But how gorgeous is this delivery? Very grateful to Tommy Hilfiger. Thank you to the team. Well, today is well and truly one of those days where you have so many things that you fully intend on doing, and then you have time to do about 5% of those things. I'm having to head off now to meet Charlie at the cottages. We've got to get them ready for some VIP guests that are arriving this weekend, and I've got the boys with me because I think we'll probably go straight out for dinner. We're going to 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, and again, if you've watched the channel for over a year, you might remember me talking about 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅s. I'll tell you more about that a little bit later. But yeah, I thought I could take the boys with me so that they can come with us to dinner, because it's essentially in a field. But haven't finished my flower displays, haven't finished emptying my inbox, haven't finished, I wanted to make my wild garlic risotto so that I could have arancini balls ready for tomorrow, and I also wanted to make rhubarb compote this afternoon, and I wanted to do stuff in the garden, but it's already 2:30 and I haven't had time to do any of that before heading to the cottages. So I guess tomorrow morning is going to be busy, but never mind, I'll catch up with you when we get to 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. Just finished getting everything ready for the guests here in cottage number 2. We've got some beautiful flowers here. Oh, and the snowdrops have come into bloom. That's looking rather gorgeous. And Charlie has put some scrummy looking cakes. We've got rhubarb jammy dodgers, fresh bread, some oat granola, some eggs, the fridge is full, the agar is turned on, so everything is ready for the guests. We've got the Jenga lined up, ready so they can light a fire as soon as they arrive if they want to, because it's suddenly gone a little bit chilly. They're actually going to be here any minute now, so we need to scurry and get out of here. But next stop, we're going to head to 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅's for, they call it their smash burger evening, which sounds absolutely mouth-watering. So I'm very much looking forward to our dinner. Gym. That yoga was 10 out of 10. It was with a lady named Vicky, who I'd not met before. It was quite tough, and she really pushed me to do the moves to the absolute best of my ability. She was a fantastic teacher. Sorry, it's super windy, so I might not. Okay, I'm sheltered behind the wall here. Yeah, incredible class, and then had a lovely little sauna session afterwards, and now I'm just having a mooch around the kitchen garden, as I love to do every month. Just come and see what they're growing, how they're protecting it, and get a little bit of inspiration. The trees are yet to show, they actually don't have that much blossom on them, which is quite surprising, but I'm sure they've had a very good haircut. So pretty how they've got the tulips and daffs growing in the lawns, and they've actually got tulips in some of their raised beds as well. It's quite a good idea to have something growing in them at this time of year. Let's go and see. They've got nets on some of the beds, but nothing planted out yet, no salads or anything, so I'm sure it won't be long. I don't know if you can see them very clearly, but these rusted metal archways, something that I would quite like to keep my eye out for this year. Don't know where I'd get them from. If anyone's got any ideas, maybe agri frames. I'll have a look online to grow potentially cucumbers and climbing squash over. I think that would be really fun. Look how effective this bed is. It's covered in tulips, and then they actually have labelled this one that's got the black net on as beetroot, which is unusual because I didn't think beetroot needed protecting. I stand corrected, their lettuce is out and they've got full black netting over it. That's interesting because I've just got a cage over mine. And then they've got the strawberries and just the little plant pots over the branches, ready to throw the netting over when they need protecting. Back home again. I put my hair up in heatless curls for the car journey home, and for an afternoon of pottering. George and Petra are going to be here in about an hour and a half, so I'm just preparing a little bit of food for us to have later. I think Charlie's going to do steak on the barbecue, so I've got some potato wedges here that I'm pre-air frying, and then I'll just put them in the oven for the last 20 minutes while we do the steak later. They've just got paprika, a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder on them. Halfway through cooking. This is only half of the batch, don't worry. There's more. Using our lovely Ninja Crispy. Please excuse the noise of the air fryer in the background, but I wanted to show you a new rug that we have got, potentially for in here, but maybe for upstairs. But it's the most beautiful design. It's from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, and I've seen their ads on Instagram. Apparently they're all washable. You can stick them in the washing machine if your drum is big enough. And they just have the most beautiful patterns. I'll pop a few on the screen here that I've seen on their ads. They honestly are just so pretty. I think there's a range called Kindred Cottage. This I think is potentially from their William Morris range. So they've got loads of really classic kind of timeless rug designs. We thought we'd try it out here. What do you think, Dexy? Do Do you like it? Has it got your mark of approval? The pattern is absolutely beautiful. These almost look like wild strawberries, and then we've got some lovely flowers and birds of paradise. My only concern about it living here is the fact that this is a pretty high traffic area, both people and dogs, and it has got quite a lot of white in it. I love it, and I think it'll be potentially perfect for the bedroom upstairs. That was our second option, but it does look rather lovely here. What do you think, Dex? Let's see what Charlie thinks. Maybe leave it here for a few days to kind of live with it. I also added some more blossom branches from the hedgerows. I stopped on the way home from Soho Farmhouse into my tulips, which arrived from Smith & Munson, and they look so lovely. That's the other batch over there. And I did the same for the flowers that I put together yesterday. The lilac, ranunculus, and the campanula is all starting to bloom. I still need a little bit more foliage in there, so I'll grab that from the garden. But it's looking really, really lovely. A nice little spring touch to the home. Dexy, what are you doing? You weren't about to tinkle, were you? I hope not. Quick outfit change into leggings, whoop, and that was very acrobatic. Leggings and my big billowy blouse. I'm going to put together a rucksack with some snacks and water, and then as soon as George and Petra get here, we're going to head out for a lovely walk. Hopefully we'll see some beautiful bluebells, fingers crossed. Hopefully the sun stays out, because it has been a really nice, very windy day, but a lovely one. I don't know what it is, but I feel like in this vlog I'm being a bit cringe, and I don't know what it is. Is it coming across that way? I don't know. I feel like I'm nervous for some reason. I've been doing this for 10 years. Why am I being weird? I don't know. Darlings, it is the next day. It's Sunday now. There's nothing in this yet. I'm about to make my coffee. It's Sunday afternoon actually. It's already 3 p.m. I didn't get out of bed until 8:30 this morning. That is the latest I've got out of bed, I think, since jet lag after the Maldives. I was getting up really early. I don't know, I can't remember the last time I stayed in bed till 8:30. But I was awake from 2:30 until 5:30, and I nearly got out of bed at 5:30, and then I thought, no, I can't only get 3 hours sleep. So, well, I was about to say who knows why that was. I know why that was. It's because Petra and I shared a bottle of rosé yesterday afternoon, and I think where I drink so much less now, just for like many reasons, but mostly health reasons. Well, actually only health reasons. But anyway, yeah, I think that the alcohol in my system was just like, nope, you're not gonna get a good night's sleep tonight. So anyway, slightly slow start to the day today. had a nice brunch with my mum. We did a little bit of gardening together, and then the biggest, darkest black cloud came over, and it has been torrentially raining for the last 2 hours. So I've been taking off my gel nails and doing some emails, which I'll schedule for tomorrow. I have never tried dictating emails before, but it's so easy. I think it's going to be a bit of a game changer. I was doing them on my phone because I had my hands in my nail remover clips, and Dickie, please, he has to be outside when it's sunny.
Come on then, let's go and sit in Dickie's favourite place. Go on then.
Yeah, so I was basically stood there with my clips on my nails dictating my emails, and it's brilliant. You have to go, "Hi Janet, new line, I hope you had a glorious weekend, question mark. So it's quite funny, but it's so quick and easy. I think if you're like multitasking, or your hands are otherwise occupied, maybe you're breastfeeding, maybe you're on an exercise machine, then yeah, dictating emails. If anyone else does it and has any tips, then please let me know. It was a little bit bad at words, like I was talking about graze on my hand and it said grace on my hand, but yeah, I'm sure it'll learn how I talk. Gosh, that's a boring chat to have with you on a Sunday morning. I'm going to make a coffee now and head back out into the garden. I managed to plant out my chard from my seed sushis before the heavens opened, and now I would like to get my sweet peas out. Some of them I haven't even pinched out yet, so I need to pinch them out and then plant them out. I hope it's okay to do that on the same day. I've popped on this lovely fleece from Holland Cooper. I love the two-tone of this. Baby pink down at the bottom, and then this kind of mushroomy brown at the top. It's so lovely, and I've actually got a thermal on underneath because it's gone so chilly again. Anyway, without further ado, let's make the most of the sunshine and get out into the garden. Very much in need of this second coffee today. Just while the coffee's doing its thing, I'll show you this. So this is my indoor germination station on the windowsill. These are all things, sorry about the noise, these are all things that need higher temperatures in order to germinate. So seeds need temperature rather than light to germinate. So at this stage it's fine that they're not like directly in the sun. But we've got our first little shoots of cucumbers and the first shoots of a climbing French bean and another climbing bean. Yeah, not too many signs of life, but before you know it, we'll have lots of green shoots here. Okay, this is partially because it needs doing, but partially because I want to stop myself from having any more coffees today. I'm going to do my descaling. So I just add some white vinegar into the coffee machine and run it through a clean cycle. I don't measure anything ever. That is one of my red flags. But I would say about a cupful of white vinegar diluted into there. Nearly forgot to empty my coffee, which goes in my Reenkel to be turned into garden compost. And now this machine has got a descale mode. I think it's about 90 minutes long, so it's quite a good one to do on Sunday afternoons. And I will then do the same mode with clean water in the tank just to completely flush it through. And it's so much cheaper using white vinegar than proper descaler. It does the same thing, but you can just use white vinegar for everything. I might even do a post on the perennial about ways that I use white vinegar, because there's so many. Does anyone else that you watch on YouTube show things as boring as descaling their coffee machine? Tell me down below what is the most boring thing that you have watched someone do on YouTube, because I'm pretty sure I might be the most boring person in the world. So Charlie is having a wardrobe clear out today, and he was about to get rid of this zip up fleece, which is from Drake's. It's a little bit small for him, so I have foraged it, and it's going to be my gardening fleece for days exactly like this. So I've now got a thermal and 2 fleeces on, and it's needed because although it's blue skies, it is quite nippy. I ordered some new gardening gloves just from Amazon, because my fingernails had been ripping holes in the end of the fingers of my old ones, and it was causing havoc for my gel nails because they just weren't protected. What is it with the boring chat? Honestly, I'm just gonna stop talking now. Let's put my shoes on and go and plant out these sweet peas. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try harder. So this is my seed sushi that I planted up with you guys a few weeks ago. It's full of sweet pea. As you can see, they've done very well, but they very much need planting out now. Let's undo it. I don't know how sturdy the soil is going to be. And I'll probably reuse this bubble wrap because it's been great. Woo, look at the roots. Oh my goodness me. A bit tangly. Wow. These roots are amazing. Wowee. Gosh, I'm impressed with this. Holy dough balls. I think every single one has germinated. That is great success. Great success. Okay, I'm actually gonna prick these out as I plant them. And then I'm gonna need a little bit of string to attach them to their support. Look at that. To gather a load of twigs, branches that had fallen down from our conifer trees mostly, and these will act as not only supports but slightly as hopefully bird deterrent, or like sausage dog deterrent, so that no one comes and either eats or stamps on my sweet peas. So I'll just stick them in the ground like so. The little tendrils will find this and it will start to grow up. Now, time to repeat times about 20, I would say. Hello my darlings, it is Monday afternoon now, and today has been a day at the desk, a day at the laptop, but I've just had that, it always happens at like 3 p.m. I come down to the kitchen to do some foraging for some yummy treats, and today I found in the cake stand chocolate brownie. I actually made this brownie on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, after we'd had dinner. We were all just craving a sweet treat. And if you lived in London, this would be exactly when you would just Deliveroo something or run to the supermarket. But no, in my rosé-fueled excitement, I was like, I'll bake a brownie. And it actually turned out really nice. So I made a pistachio brownie after having 2/3 of a bottle of wine, and it did come out rather delightful. But what I want to do, and I especially want to do this because in a few weeks time with George and Petra we're actually going to climb Snowdon, which is the highest peak in Wales. It's an 8-hour trek, and we're definitely going to need some kind of sustenance and treats while we're climbing. So I want to try making like a really yummy nutty date chocolate bar, firstly to have in the house for these 3 p.m. cravings, but also as a potential thing that I will make in advance of our trip to Snowdon. And if any of you guys have got any tips, if you've done it, or I think we're staying in 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 in North Wales with our 3 nights, and we're going to make it a really nice trip. So if you guys know the area, any restaurant or cafe recommendations or walking routes, please let me know. But yeah, I'll definitely make a batch of these the day before we go and take them with me if it's a success. Sorry about the dishwasher noise. So first of all, I'm going to melt. I've got some dark chocolate buttons, and now we don't have a microwave, so my way of melting is putting them in a mug and sticking them in the 𝑭𝒂𝒑. You could do it on the hob as well. I see people doing it with like bowls of water and stuff like that, but that method works for me. Now I want this bar to be really filling, yummy but filling, so I'm going to use some dates. I've got just some M&S. Ooh, these have actually got stones in them, so I need to slice those open. I'm going to use one of my mini baking trays, and I've got a cake tin liner. I'm going to do it all in here. Chocolate, dates, nuts, more chocolate. This is what I'm imagining is going to be really yummy. Then I'll put it in the fridge so that it solidifies, and then cut it into little chunks. And I thought we could use pistachios, Brazil nuts, pecans, and almonds, my favourite nuts of choice. I could also do some pumpkin seeds. That would make this amazing. You could do a version with just pistachio, or you could put some like goji berries and stuff in there. But anyway, let's start by pitting the dates, getting the stones out, preparing all the ingredients, chopping up a few nuts, and then we'll assemble. Okay, so I have got a little sandwich here. Chocolate, smushed dates. You might have seen I use my coffee cup to smush them. Some blitzed up nuts that I blitzed up in the blender. More melted chocolate, and then pistachio. I'm going to put this in the fridge for an hour so that chocolate hardens, and then we'll chop it up and hope that it's yummy. Chaff, Eurasian blackbird, common wood pigeon, European robin. That really pretty twittering is a European robin.